dietitians and nutritionists. Welcome back to Bloom's Healthy City Living Edition, and Tampa Bay is home to top dietitians and nutritionists, including our next guest. Joining us now is registered and longevity dietitian and the author of Cooking for High Performers, Ella DeVar. Ella, as always, it's so great to see you.
Thank you for having me, Gail.
So big city folks usually forget to eat healthy foods because it's just so easy to get on an app and order takeout.
Yeah. And before I moved to Florida, I lived in New York City for 15 years. So I know what it feels like to be tired and exhausted at the end of the day and make an honest mistake of ordering takeout in an effort to feel better and to nourish yourself. But what we truly want is a comforting home-cooked meal to soothe our emotions and nourish ourselves. So I teach my clients this healthy and easy cooking skills. And I created that book called Cooking for High Performance with that intention in mind, to show them that healthy cooking and cooking in general is not about complex recipes. The easier it is, the better it is for you. So I'm going to show you today one of my favorite recipes.
Okay.
And it's bone broth-based broccoli soup.
Oh, that sounds delicious. And it smells delicious.
And it's so easy to make. So all we need is to grab a pot and chop up some garlic and onions. And if you don't like them, you don't even have to use them. But I know you do.
I do. You know my Italian roots. I'm all about it.
And everyone should love them. So I'm happy that you get to inspire people because they're so high in immune-supporting antioxidants called quercetin. So we're just going to use a little bit of olive oil, some shallots or onions, garlic, and start sauteing it. Next, we'll use broccoli. Chop up some broccoli and add it here together.
Okay.
Next is bone broth. Bone broth is extremely healing for our gut, for our skin, our joints, even hair and nails. And it's been used for generations by our ancestors and grandmothers who used to eat the whole animal from head to toe. Nowadays, we're so busy to make it, but I always try to keep a jar of bone broth, and I teach my clients in the pantry. So all you need to do is pour it on top of your broccoli, depending on what consistency you like. Next are seasonings. So I'm just going to use a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Herbs and spices. So my favorite are thyme and oregano. This one is an Italian blend. If you have fresh ones, that's great. And if you don't, that's fine. Today I have a little bit of cilantro and some fresh thyme.
Oh, wow.
All we need to do is to simmer it together for 4 to 5 minutes. That's it. We're just going to treat the broccoli with the temperature a little bit, set it to medium to high heat, cover it, and in 4 minutes, all we need is this emerging blender, which is my favorite toy in the kitchen because it just makes things so easy. Big usual blenders that makes you pour the soups and its content back and forth just makes too many steps in the process.
Yeah, and it deters people from making things from scratch like this. Because when you said, oh, we're making soup today, I thought, wow, this is some big, long, drawn-out process, but it's not. It's literally bone broth, and a lot of the stuff that you cut up, you really didn't cut it up like the shallots. You put them in kind of...
No, because this guy's going to do the job for us.
The heavy lifting for us.
Yes.
So once this cooks for 5-6 minutes and everything gets nice and soft, that's when you use the
blender, yeah.
The emerging blender. Mm-hmm. And then this is the final product?
Yes, that's what it looks like.
Oh my gosh, because when you first got here, I'm like, is this canned soup? But you quickly made this from scratch.
You know what's another awesome thing about this recipe? That you can alternate the ingredients. So whatever you have in the fridge, if you have cauliflower, celery, leeks, onions, whatever you have, or spinach, is going to work for this recipe.
Because so many times we watch our vegetables, we buy them with good intentions, and we don't always get around to making them. This is an easy way to feed your family a nutritious meal with, and not have a lot of food waste.
Yes, and when I recommend clients green leafy vegetables at every meal, it doesn't have to be just salads.
Right.
This is an awesome way to nourish your body with the green leafy vegetables, and the bone broth has amino acids which are building blocks of collagen and proteins that help us to heal the gut and make our skin glow, which is basically a healing food which is I recommend to everyone who has stress in their lives, which is everyone,
Yeah, which
right?
is all of us, yeah.
You can pour this in the cup
Okay, yeah.
and top it up with some fancy garnishes here that I have, like avocado and pumpkin seeds, very easy, or goat cheese and walnut.
So you can, set this aside for your family if they, everyone can kind of pick what they like to put in there.
Exactly. Add a little
Awesome.
bit of protein and healthy fats to make it even more nourishing,
Could put
and the
some
cheese
avocados.
starts to thicken it. And the last step is to add some gloss to it with a little bit of olive oil drizzle.
Okay. Like I'm going to town here on the buffet line, guys.
You like them all, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I like it a lot.
All right, so there you have it. Easy to make comfort food, which took us less than 6 minutes to make.
Wow, and
Which
this
is
looks
like
like
a medicine.
a fancy soup that you would get at like a restaurant. It looks so good. And when you put the add-ons,
Isn't it?
it's really delicious.
The delicious and easy to make food that tastes like medicine, that keeps your joints young and healthy, and makes you glow.
So you don't even have to go to like the store and get canned soup. You can make this in a matter of 10 minutes.
No, just the bone broth, which is, I used to make it myself when I just got into nutrition science, but it's very time consuming. To make your own bone broth could be a minimum of 8 hours up to 24 hours. So I just, thanks to some of the food companies, I just keep them in the pantry.
So that's a good staple to have.
Absolutely, my favorite.
And to your point, you say broccoli is a great food
Yeah.
to, for nutritious, but if you have, let's say, cauliflower, anything that you have.
Asparagus or spinach, anything could really work for the soup.
This is delicious. And the goat cheese,
Right? It's my secret ingredient.
that's a really good add-on. I always have that to put out as an app when I have guests over, but dropping it into your soup, there's a pro tip for you. Ella, thank you so much for joining us on Bloom today. It's always such a pleasure. We're going to actually share Ella's recipe for you on our website. She was nice enough to share it with us.